Okay, so we're going to ask our first question now. So, Nicole, why is it so important to educate our children around healthy relationships, and what is the danger in not doing so?
So I think that's a really important question, and there's three key things that come to mind. Firstly, relationships, as we all know, are so important. They're vital in terms of everything that we do. So in getting support when we need it during really fun times and really difficult times. They form our future colleagues, so who we work with, from romantic relationships to family relationships. It's where we can feel our sense of belonging and can thrive within education. And I think that relationships, they impact us at every level and at every kind of stage of our lives. And we actually need to equip our young people to have healthy relationships, and that takes skills to be able to have a healthy relationship, to be safe both online and offline. And it's these skills that we need now, but also throughout our whole lives. So for example, critical thinking skills, being able to develop that sense of, am I in a healthy relationship? Am I in a good friendship? Am I in a relationship that makes me feel good? And helping with decision making as well. Reflection skills, so understanding more about ourselves and what we need and what we kind of ask from other people, how we feel, and developing empathy and respect for others, understanding what is going on for other people. And then being able to actually communicate that to others. What do we need, and how can we support others? And then finally, I would say it's so important to have preventative kind of safeguarding, so that we are reducing the safeguarding concerns in schools, so that young people know how to respect one another. They do respect one another better. They know what's acceptable behaviour and what's not acceptable behaviour, and to help them to make better choices. So I think it's so important that if we don't do that, the danger is that young people do fall into toxic relationships, and it has an impact on their lives now, but also in the future. And so it's about preventing that, giving them the skills so that they can foster really safe and healthy relationships.
And that's so important, isn't it? Because I think sometimes we take it for granted that our children have been brought up around healthy relationships. And in actual fact, a huge number of our children have never been a part of a healthy relationship or have seen a healthy relationship. They might have been brought up in a domestic abuse situation. And if that's all they know, then we need to be the ones to break that cycle, to say that it isn't acceptable. It's not acceptable to be treated this way. It's not acceptable to be spoken that way. And it's educated them to understand that our acceptance of things needs to be higher. We shouldn't be accepting of these things, and we should have this open culture where, however small you feel a concern is, you should always go and report it, even if it's just that funny feeling in your tummy of being uncomfortable. Then you should always go and speak to somebody about it.
Yeah, definitely, because I think that modeled behavior that we're learning is learned behavior that we all copy. Where do we learn about our relationships for the first time? It's at home, and then it's within school, it's with our peers. And so there is a real opportunity that we have in schools to model that empathetic or that open, those ways of communicating, that I think is so needed when you haven't been given that, or you're looking up to someone either on social media or people that you admire that maybe are showing an unhealthy relationship or an unhealthy kind of behavior patterns. So I think it is so important that we're showing a very different narrative and giving young people the skills to be able to recognize that